headlines matter, but what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Hello and good morning. Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer. 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on X. Just search the Jake Underwood Show, and we'll pop up there. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Kenny Kidd. Good morning, Kenny.
Hi.
How's it going, Kenny?
Good. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. A lot to cover today. Of course, the big news over the weekend, the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. He passed away, and we'll get into the details of that. We'll also ask Congressman Max Miller about that as well. He's going to be up. We're going to have him in about 10 minutes-ish, right around there. Also, we're going to have the latest on Iran. There are a lot of things coming out locally here. There are some plans that are in development when it comes to the vacant lots on the east side. We'll see what's going on with that. I'll give you the details there. Also, lakefront plans. They are due in October.
Okay.
So we'll see, because the last time we saw the plans and what they were moving towards, Cleveland Brown Stadium was still being put into the plans there. Obviously, that's not the case anymore. So we'll see what's going on there. And also, I'd love to hear people's ideas as to what needs to be down there, because I'm probably going to ask you that more times than they will. Governor Mike DeWine, he signed a bill into law last week. We didn't get the chance to cover it. Ashley McTaggart, Parma School Board, the details of all that. I knew last time we spoke to someone about it, it had passed both chambers and moved to his desk. I figured he would sign it, and he did. Thank goodness. And as I said, we will check in with Congressman Max Miller and more. Also, 2 years ago today, Butler, PA. Man. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in probably 10 o'clock hour. Yeah. I think that'll be when we talk about that. Because that changed a lot.
That does not seem like 2 years ago.
No, it does not. It does not. That's absolutely crazy. But as I said, the leading story over the weekend is that U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away, and this is a clip from Salem News Channel.
The office of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican from South Carolina, released the following statement. On the evening of Saturday, July 11, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period.
So, of course, all right. So that, of course, the big breaking news over the weekend, I saw some people saying that he had stuff in his hands. He was trying to tell us something. No, it was a defibrillator. That's what he had in his hands. It's something that you hold on to, and it pumps your chest the way that you need it. It's medical. It was medical equipment. So there was a lot of things, a lot of speculation about what it might have been, what it was, what it isn't. If you remember the actor John Ritter, Three's Company, he had that show. I cannot remember the name of it, but when he passed,
Two's a Crowd. That was after.
It was.
I know there was a recent one. I can't remember it.
Kaylee Coco Penny from Big Bang Theory played his daughter. It was a great show, but it's the same thing where he was completely fine. He said he wasn't feeling well, and then he passed. So look, I know I've made jokes about Lindsey Graham. A lot of people have, but ultimately, he did a great job representing the people of South Carolina. That's why he got elected as many times as he did. That's why he was in there. And he had a great influence on a lot of decisions made in this country. And 71 years old. So
not that old in
the
grand scheme of things.
No. When you think about it, I mean, President Trump's, 10 years older?
Roughly, yeah.
So, just something to keep in mind. And, keep his family, thoughts and prayers, and, pray for him. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a quick break because when we come back, we are going to have Congressman Max Miller, and we'll talk a bit about Lindsey Graham, Iran. He also got a great endorsement, so I want to ask him about that. And then I also saw Matt McFan on Saturday, so we'll talk about that as well. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch, see some of the behind the scenes on Rumble, X, and YouTube. I made some upgrades over the weekend there. You can see us during the commercial break, what we're up to, and talk to us in the chat there. It is a Monday, and that, of course, means we are going to catch up with Congressman Max Miller. He is joining us on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline. Congressman, thank you for taking the time out for us today.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. It's good to be on. Wrapped up a really solid, almost 2 weeks in the district, hitting plenty of spots, and then wrapping it up, really Saturday morning with that breakfast at McFan that I saw you at, and a lot of constituents with Rep. Mike DeWine. And it was just overall, you hear a lot on the news about a lot of the noise, and then you go back home and you get back into reality, right, of what is really going on the ground. And I can just tell you, I think you saw it for yourself. There's just a lot of support, and I'm starting to see a lot of people coalesce, behind Republicans just writ large. So that made me really happy to see over the past 2 weeks being home. So
yeah, and especially as we get closer to the election, I think the Democrats do a great job. They keep people engaged most of the year, almost all year round. And Republicans, we have things called jobs. So we can't really be engaged as much as we want to be. But, I notice, that right around, mid-July, definitely by the end of August, that's when you really see people, they start to get involved. And, and we saw it this past weekend. And I want to thank you because the breakfast was delicious that you and Mike DeWine paid for. It was wonderful.
Yeah, well, look, that is, in all seriousness, that was one of, the ways Mike and I can give back to our community and constituents. And we've done a couple of those breakfasts. We're going to continue to do more throughout the district. It's really just for people to come, have good conversation. Yeah, and then just catch up about life. And we did a lot of that Saturday, and we're going to do a lot more of it from here on out to November. So it'll be a good time.
And as you said, you've been out and about, especially these last 2 weeks. What are some of the issues that come up the most when you're talking to people? Because I know at McFan, the last question, it was flock camera, and that's the one that really stuck with people. But, what are some of the issues that you're hearing from people?
Yeah, you heard it yourself from, our constituents there Saturday morning. But, look, people are concerned about gas prices, right? We had an older constituent who was concerned about Social Security. Mm-hmm. And as I stood up there and answered those questions, right, I was very direct and gave honest answers. And it just puts things into perspective to, when you turn on the news right now, whether it's Fox News or, MS, DNC or anything else, right? It's going to be right now about foreign policy, right? It's just going to be. It's going to be about the war in Iran. It's going to be about this. It's going to be about that. Back home, what people feel every single day, regardless, of anything, is, Jake, they feel gas prices. Yeah. They still feel, walking into our grocery stores and not seeing prices like they once, were just a little bit ago. And that's what you still hear, day to day. Now, the reasons are different for, the price adjustments that the country has faced over the last several months, one being tariffs, which I've said I'm not a fan of, but we have to, take a look at this war in Iran right now and just remember and continue, that I can have a world where my daughter, right, and, everyone's kids and family members don't have to worry about a nuclear Iran. And, I still stand by I believe he did the right thing. We have to go ahead and figure, the best way out of this. But those are the real issues, right? Gas prices, grocery prices, and we're doing everything we can to make sure, at least on our committee on Ways and Means, to provide more tax deductions, not tax increases, to put more money back in your pocket and not have the federal government collect it from you.
We're, of course, talking with Congressman Max Miller. We're checking in with him on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline. Recently, you've gotten an endorsement, and it's one, I saw it pop up on the timeline. I went, oh, that's interesting, because it's not often that Republicans are endorsed by Teamsters. Can you tell us a little bit about that endorsement, and what do you think they saw in your record that helped you earn their support?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Jake. I really do appreciate it. When it comes to the Teamsters, I've been a Davis-Bacon Republican since day one. And if you look at the state of Ohio, it just is what it is. We are not a right-to-work state, ladies and gentlemen. And, this is one of these things where hopefully this shows you and the rest of the district that I am representing the district as it is. I am not going to Washington, D.C. to represent my own wants, feelings, wishes, and needs. No, I'm going there to do exactly what the job entails, and that's to fight and to represent, all of you who are listening right now, and that those who aren't. And so when certain votes came up in Congress over the last 3.5 years, since I've been there, I have stood with trade labor unions. Regardless of what anyone will say, the Teamsters saw it themselves, and they're the biggest trade labor organization, I believe, in the state of Ohio. And President Sean O'Brien is a phenomenal man who's going to be coming into the district in a couple of months. So, we're going to kick this thing off right. But, they saw someone who's loyal. They saw someone who accurately represents their constituency. And that's why they chose to support me like so many others. So, yeah, it was an awesome thing to see.
Well, yeah, and like I said, congrats, because I even brought it up to Kenny this morning, and he's like, really? They endorsed him. They don't do that often with Republicans, so it just shows that you're doing a good job, Congressman. I want to ask you something, a little more serious. Over this weekend, the news came out about the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. He's been an influential Republican for a long time, and there are some people who love him, they hate him. But just, what do you want to say about, Senator Lindsey Graham? And did you have any experiences serving, in the capacity that you are now, where maybe you had a conversation with them or anything like that?
Yeah, believe it or not, you know what? First, I'd like to share like a good memory and a good story with the senator, because when I was working for President Trump, early in 2016 and 2017 at the White House, when I was an advance lead, I was, on the golf course with President Trump and Senator Graham. And I actually got to spend, probably, if I had to think about all the time, Jake and Kenny, I bet you I've spent a collective week with the senator nonstop, just staying, out and about with him on the golf course. And I got to tell you, look, those who know Senator Graham, he was a very joyful individual, okay? And he also could tell one heck of a joke that would make you laugh so hard your stomach would hurt. But he was someone who deeply cared about the country, and he's someone who I also believe accurately represented his state, because no matter what, right, every election year, people were always going after the senator, right? They were saying, oh, he's this, and this, and you know what? He always got reelected because he accurately represented his state, and, that is something that is incredibly admirable. And when it comes to just being like an overall, decent and good human, Senator Lindsey Graham, is and was just that. And and so he's going to be very deeply missed as somebody who had a very strong voice for our allies overseas, whether people agree with it or not, but really is a special human who will be missed. And whoever steps into his shoes are going to have really big ones to fill if they ever can. But look, this country lost a giant, whether people see it that way or not. He was someone who dedicated his entire life to the United States of America, and even during his travels and everything else, unfortunately passed away while, doing what he loved so much. But I think everyone, regardless, should remember that guy as somebody, who was a good representative for the United States of America abroad, and someone, you knew that if you cut a deal with, that it was going to stand. So, he'll be missed from Congress very much.
And so, yeah, I never had the privilege of meeting him. I met with people from his office when I was doing the Maha stuff, but I never had the privilege of meeting him. But what you said, I've heard almost every person, even before he passed, when they're going, you might not agree with him, but he's just a nice guy. Like he's going to listen to you, he'll joke around with you, and he's funny. So, yeah, that's the same things that I heard about him, and it's very sad. Of course, he was 71 years old this weekend when he passed. I want to ask you, because you spoke about his influence, and he had a lot of it. He certainly did, and especially when it comes to voicing support for Israel and Ukraine and just a strong national defense. Do you expect the direction of Congress to change a little bit in that area with him being gone?
Certainly, it certainly hurts that area. It is not helpful that one of the leading voices, for those things is not here anymore on this earth, leading those same causes that he once was before just a few days ago. So yes, I do think it hurts, but, my hope is that, other people still, within the upper chamber and the lower chamber, will have a lot of common sense and still put into perspective that all foreign aid and spending is still less than 1% of the entire federal budget. And so, if we all keep that in mind and focus on what is really driving the debt and how to, take better care of our Americans here in our country, we can go about it in a different way that still benefits our allies and benefits us at the very same time. So without question, it's going to hurt. Yeah. And other people will need to continue to step up to fill that void. But Jake, you know what? He also was a very, very dear friend of President Trump. Regardless of what anyone may say, the president valued his opinion. He spent a lot of time with him personally, and professionally. And, I think that is also going to be missed now within the administration is, Senator Graham's voice, because they did speak quite a bit.
And you bring up President Trump. Kenny pointed it out to me this morning, 2 years ago today, Butler, PA. And I mean, I know the impact that had on my life. I was on the campaign trail, of course, with then independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But I know the impact that had on myself and the campaign, and just, it was a month later. We were walking out on the stage, and Bobby was endorsing President Trump. What do you remember from that day when they tried to assassinate President Trump?
I mean, I didn't believe it was real. I remember getting a phone call, and I remember colleagues who, were working for him that day and once previously at the White House were in tears. And, it shocked the entire world. And it showed, I think a lot of people that this country has changed forever. And, people saw that, and, other people decided to continue to take that hatred and push it towards others. And God bless, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. But, they just people all sanity throughout our country, where you literally have, people who are going out to talk to other people. And then these other individuals just don't want to deal with violence to take you out, to limit your voice. That's the opposite of the First Amendment. And that is what the other side wants, to limit us. And I just remember feeling, kind of a bit desolate. But I do remember shortly thereafter, I felt a turning point for the country. And then I felt a ton of momentum. And I just, even me, myself at that time was going to work even harder and do everything I could to make sure that President Trump got elected. Because, at the end of the day, what that day should show us and other days, as I had mentioned, is that, people can say whatever they want about the Republican Party and Republicans. But if you really take a look at the Republican Party and Republicans, we are much more normal than the Democrat Party. I mean, you can break this down any which way that you want, but you have a party that literally pushed to cut, children's, genitals off, that they cannot be put back on, and give them, testosterone and estrogen that will forever screw them up. And suicide rates are through the roof because of it. I mean, we're talking about a party that let in over 20 million illegal immigrants. I mean, that's what all of that reminds me of. Everything that they bring to the table and all of that hatred, right? They don't want to talk to and negotiate with us. They literally want to take us out. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to him the next day. So
yeah, it comes down to this. I don't know when this exactly started, but like people are allowed to disagree, and there should be discussions. But the moment people start calling each other evil, and I know like that's such a crazy thing to say about someone, especially, it's one thing if you don't really hear what they have to say and, and you just go off and you say that. It's absolutely insane. And it just causes more and more of this wedge and this divide. And ultimately, the only way we're going to be successful is if we're able to actually have a discussion. I'm not saying agree with everything, but at least sit down and have a talk so we can maybe understand where we're coming from, even if we don't agree with each other.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to Americans, I totally agree. We should totally sit down at the table and negotiate. And, one party is always willing to do that, and the other party just wants to take one hostage. And, that's why I love, being a Republican so much, independent thought.
Right.
We just don't go with whatever Nancy Pelosi decides to put on the floor. So.
Well said.
Yeah.
We got to wrap up, but quickly, what are some things that we can expect to see this coming week?
Oh, man, Jay, Kenny, I don't even know what to tell you on that front. It could be a complete disaster, or it could work out. I was talking with my chief of staff this morning on the phone, and we were like, well, we took a position of, which is true, we oppose the rule for the SAVE Act.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't believe that my position has changed quite yet. And, the speaker hasn't called me. It's just been, I don't know if any of you have ever walked into a full-time job at work and not know what your agenda is by leadership, but that's exactly what I'm doing right now today. Because we don't know. I mean, we know what we're going to vote on. And some of it is some really good, or great pieces of legislation for Homeland Security and other things. And also we're looking to get rid of the penny, which is a big deal. But I got to tell you, all of these things are absolutely great. But is it more important than only Americans voting in our elections? And then I have to say no. So we're going to have to, see how this week, continues to play out. But I will for sure keep you updated.
All right, Congressman, sounds good. I mean, I would agree with you. I would agree. I think voter ID is the number one issue. Congressman, thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you. That, of course, is Congressman Max Miller joining us on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline. We're going to take a break. We'll talk about what he had to say when we come back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer. Excuse me, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on X, YouTube, and Rumble when you search The Jake Underwood Show. A big thank you to Congressman Max Miller for making the time out for us, as we do every Monday on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline right there in Medina. Go get yourself a hot honey pepperoni pizza. They're very good. I still gotta get them. I still gotta get one up here for Kenny to try.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's very good.
Or I got to make the trek out to Medina.
Out there to Medina.
Medina.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Very good pizza. And and thankful to the congressman for his time. I see, and that's the thing. Like, and look, as I said, I know I've made the jokes about Lindsey Graham and everything. Obviously, I'm not going to make them like right now. That'd be terrible. Like, awful. And the people that are,
let's roast them. Good idea.
Yeah, like the people that are, get over yourselves. But yeah, I've always heard that about him, and I think that's why everybody kind of pokes fun at him, because he's not scared to he wasn't scared to give it back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, the Republicans lost a leader. That's the main thing to remember there.
It was a solid voice in the Senate.
Yeah, he was. And look, you might not, there were a lot of people who disagreed with him on, especially with Ukraine and Iran and different things, but. Yeah, he was, as you said, he was a solid voice. I agree with that completely.
And just like Max said, he represented his state
he
extremely
did.
Well. You don't continue to get reelected like that unless you do.
That's correct. And I want to let people know real quick before we go to Jim. We have a new thing. It's called the Jim Rule.
Yes.
And I want to make everybody aware of it. So if we have a guest later on in the show, and if you called in earlier, you can call back in to speak to the guest.
Yeah, if we got a guest in
studio,
especially in studio where they're going to be here for the hour and we're going to take calls. If you already called in, you could still call in for the guest.
Yes, that
led to a lot of misunderstandings.
Yes, and that's on us. That's on us for not. I should have said that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I just always assumed, and yeah. So that's on me, but yes, we have the Jim Rule, which if you call in at 9 o'clock and we have somebody in studio at 10:30, or we have a guest who's even on the phone and they're like, "Let's take some calls," you can call back in.
And if you don't understand what we're talking about, go back to Friday.
Yes,
listen to Friday.
Yes, listen to Friday, where the egg was on our face. Quite frankly,
well, more so mine.
Well,
to be fair,
but I'll take blame too. My name's on it, so I'll take blame on it. That's on me too. I should have told people, but yeah. So just so everybody knows, if that is the case, you can call in when we have a guest here. If you called in earlier in the show. And speaking of which, as I said, it's called the Jim Rule. Let's go to Jim. Jim, you're in the air.
Yes, Jake. They played a clip on O'Connor program this morning, and Lindsey Graham was on the floor just fire and brimstone against Merrick Garland, and I think it was Merrick Garland, and it was about the confirmation of these court justices on our side. He said, "We never did that to you, your liberal little people that can't even describe what a woman is," or the other one too. So if you can find that clip, that needs to be out there. Okay.
Was this the Kavanaugh hearing?
It could have been the Kavanaugh. Yeah.
Because I saw one.
Graham fighting.
Yeah, I saw one this weekend with during the Kavanaugh interview, and he was just laying into the Dems on that, and I'll see if I could find that.
Yeah, that needs to be played. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Jim. Thank you for the call. I may have found it here.
Okay.
So yeah, we can. Let's see here. Yeah, this is from as you said, Kenny, the Kavanaugh. It's and even the caption with it says, "Lindsey Graham was a fighter. He fought fearlessly to keep Merrick Garland off the Supreme Court and to get Brett Kavanaugh seated in it. A former Air Force JAG, he fought brilliantly to fight for constitutional law." Let's go ahead and take a listen here.
Is there a body of law called the law of armed conflict?
There is such a body, Senator.
Is there a body of law that's called basic criminal law?
Yes, Senator.
Are there differences between those two bodies of law?
Yes, Senator.
From an American citizen's point of view, Do your constitutional rights follow you? If you're in Paris, does the Fourth Amendment protect you as an American from your own government?
From your own government, yes.
Okay. So, if you're in Afghanistan, do your constitutional rights protect you against your own government?
If you're an American in Afghanistan, you have constitutional rights as against the U.S. government.
Is there a long-standing...
That's long-settled law.
Isn't there also a long-settled law that it goes back to the Eisentrager case? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Johnson versus Eisentrager.
Right. That American citizens who collaborate with the enemy have considered enemy combatants.
They can be. They can be. They're sometimes criminally prosecuted, sometimes treated in the military.
Well, let's talk about can be. I think
under Supreme Court precedent.
Right. There's a Supreme Court decision that said that American citizens who collaborated with Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think a couple of them were executed.
Yeah.
So if anybody doubts, there's a long-standing history in this country that your constitutional rights follow you wherever you go, but you don't have a constitutional right to turn on your own government, collaborate with the enemy of the nation.
I don't think that was the clip Jim was talking about, but that was I love that clip. That's a great reminder of, when you're an American, you're your rights follow you. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're talking about the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. He was 71 years old. He passed away this past weekend of basically heart failure. That's what did it. It was the same type that took the life of John Ritter. That was the big profile one that people remember, where fine one day, and then even just a few hours later, they can this can happen, and then they can pass away. In fact, President Trump was asked about Lindsey Graham, and he had some things to say. This is courtesy of NBC's Meet the Press.
Mr. President, it is just extraordinary. You just spoke with him last night. His office says he passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Are you learning any more details about how and why he may have passed? Did he tell you anything in that phone call, Mr. President, about not feeling well?
No, he said he's a little tired. It was a long trip, many hours. And he had just gotten back. And it must have been right after that, because I understand the police or whoever it is came there at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, something like that. So somebody notified him. But no, he felt okay. I actually, on the call, he told me, Kristen, he said, I feel good, but I'm tired. Mm. He was fine. I knew him well. He would let you know if he wasn't feeling well. He had days where he didn't feel so well, and he'd let you know about it. But he was a fantastic person. He was a man who you're going to watch. It's going to be a very big thing with him. He's going to be appreciated more now than he was when he was living. Mm.
That, of course, President Trump speaking on the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to look for that clip that Jim was talking about.
I think I just sent it to you.
Oh, okay, great. All right, and so, we'll play that when we come back. Just remembering some of the moments that of Lindsey Graham. He's a good senator. And, he had a personality enough that, you could joke around about it. So that's why he's memorable to me. Plus, he did some incredible things. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll play that clip of Lindsey Graham. And just remember him. That's what we're going to do here. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us. We're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube when you search the Jake Underwood Show. And we're just kind of remembering Senator Lindsey Graham. Because as I said, people like to make the jokes and, they like to do all that, but I forgot about the Kavanaugh hearing. I mean, he was on fire during the Kavanaugh hearing.
Yeah, he was fired up.
Yeah, during the break, I was watching some of the stuff, and as soon as I'd get like 10 seconds in and I'm going, oh, okay, no, I remember this. I do remember this. Oh, wow, yeah, okay, no, I remember this. And, Clay Travis, who, of course, is down the dial, but, he's part of the tandem that took over for Rush Limbaugh. James O'Keefe, they're all starting to, put things out. And, the one James O'Keefe put out, I remember that. Like, I'm just going through it and I'm going, I remember all of this. And yeah, he truly, he was one of the leaders there for a bit. And I guess I remember hearing his name. I remember seeing him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was,
well, he was fired up because the way that they were treating those hearings and those people nominated, it was insane. We've never done that to them.
And it was uncalled for. All of it was uncalled for. And of course, we're talking about Brett Kavanaugh. During the hearing, they accused him of being all these different things, from a rapist
to rapist.
Yeah, just all of these crazy these different things.
To slipping drugs to girls and stuff. And
yeah,
what do you really? There was absolutely no basis for any of it.
None whatsoever. And that's what I think. Lindsey Graham. When the people that were watching it, myself included, I think he channeled all of us when and I'm going to play this for you, a bit of this, because it is like a 4-minute clip. We won't play the full 4 minutes, but you can hear. He was fired up, and he starts going and he started holding his colleagues accountable.
FBI investigation. If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it, because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job interview.
Consider that you've been through a job interview?
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution.
Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell.
This
is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned. He is the very circumspect in his personal conduct.
And then he goes on to give the opposite side of it, which he absolutely should have. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's still true today. That's still absolutely true today, that, it's that you're hoping that everything fails and everything falls apart so then you can try to install the people you want, especially at that level, especially in D.C., because like and it's crazy because it's almost like some people there don't realize it, is that if it fails, we're all feeling it.
There's never been a more stark contrast between the two parties, because even during the Biden administration, that puppet regime, I still wanted it to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the country. I didn't want them to fail, because if they failed, then we failed.
Right.
Now they failed, which sucked.
Yeah.
But I didn't want them to fail. I wanted them to do the best that they possibly could.
Right, absolutely. Like, that's, of course. Like, let's say hypothetically in November, it's Amy Acton.
Ugh.
I'm not going to be ecstatic about it. I'm not going to be happy about it. But I hope she does a good job.
I'm going to wish her well. I'm going to be extremely skeptical, but I'm going to wish her well.
Like, we gotta kind of look at it the way that we do when the Browns draft a quarterback that we don't like. Like, I remember when they drafted Johnny Manziel, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but please listen.
Oh, I know where you're going.
It was one of these where it's like, I really don't want this person, but you know what? That's who we got.
Yeah.
That's who we got. So I hope they do a great job. Like that's just the way that it has to. That's kind of the way that your mindset has to go. Yeah, of course, hold them accountable for what they're doing. And, if they do a good job, be like, well, all right, that's better than I thought they'd do. Okay, cool. All right, maybe this won't be as bad as we thought.
I mean, it's a little more detrimental to our way of life.
I agree. I agree, but that's the best example that I could think of off the top of my head.
It's a very good analogy, because, like I've always said, I love Baker Mayfield, and I thought what a travesty.
Oh yeah.
To let him go like that. We had our guy.
It was ridiculous.
And now whoever we got, I wish him well. I don't.
Yeah, I hope he does a good job, because I want the success for the team. The same way we're a team here. We're a team here in this country.
United States.
Right, the United States. We are a team. So of course I want whoever is in office to do the best job that they can. Absolutely. But yeah, the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, that's. I haven't thought about it in a while, but that was really a strange turning point in the country, because this was with the Me Too, #MeToo stuff, and it just that wave, and
believe all women.
Yeah, like
until it's your side.
Yeah, it was a strange time, and luckily, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still some extreme cases like that, but it's not like it used to be. It's not that extreme anymore. I think people are starting to people have. They calmed down, and plus COVID helped them do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a strange time. And you know what? Nobody else was calling it out.
But another thing too is that they also morphed it into other things. They morphed it into BLM. They morphed it into the Summer of Love. They've morphed it into everything that's happened since.
We talk about how President Trump is good at the weave.
Yeah.
And how that's what the left does with their policies and stuff. They're very good at weaving. Everything's connected somehow, and that's how they write their legislation. So it's one of those where I don't agree with it. I think a lot of it is ridiculous, but I mean, it's clever. It's clever. We just have to look out for it. But I mean, rest in peace, Lindsey Graham. I mean, he called it out. He said it how it needed to be said at times, even when you agreed, even when you disagreed. I mean, he said it, and he said it, full-chested and ready to go. So, he's gonna be missed. Mm-hmm. That's sad. That's sad. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, 2 years ago today, Butler, PA. I know it changed all of our lives, but it was that turning point in the election for President Trump. We'll talk about that and more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
But what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show, hour number 2. This is the 10 o'clock hour right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on Rumble, X, and YouTube when you search the Jake Underwood Show. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glass is one Mr. Kenny Kid. Good morning, Kenny.
Hi. Good morning.
How's it going, Kenny?
Good.
Very good. Very good. 2 years ago today, I said it earlier in the show, it's the 2-year anniversary of Butler, PA.
That's crazy.
And the assassination attempt on President Trump, of course. I remember it. It does not feel like 2 years ago. Certainly, that's time. Where does it go? But of course, if you don't remember what happened, let me give you a little recap here. It was just after 6 o'clock. It was a Saturday. It was a live rally in Butler, PA, and that's when it was 20-year-old Thomas Crooks. He took a shot at then candidate, but now President Trump. And that's, of course, when it grazed his ear.
Mm-hmm. You remember the graphs? It was on the wrong side, usually on the other side. So many things, so many failures, and then so many, just coincidences that help save, And both ends of the spectrum were crazy.
Right, and that's when he was, the Secret Service put him down on the ground and then escorted him out. And that's, of course, when President Trump put his fist up in the air and he said, fight, fight, fight.
Mm-hmm.
And right there, he had it won.
Sparked it.
We went, there it is. Yep, there it is.
Even my wife, who doesn't really get political at all, she was like, that's a president.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely it is.
That's a leader.
Absolutely it is. And I just remember now when I was working on the campaign with for independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., of course I was a Trump supporter still. I was working with Bobby because I like Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can like them both.
Well, yeah, no, it was interesting because a lot of people did. That's the funniest part. A lot of people did. And just I think for a lot of, the campaign itself, when that happened, things changed completely because we weren't doing outdoor events anyways. And it turned into, well, we're definitely not doing this. And it was something, I think we were supposed to go to Chicago. It was something like that. And just the trip was canceled. And we're like, all right, that makes sense. And then the trip after that was canceled. And we're going, ooh.
What's going on?
And then, if you remember, that's when the little leaked videos of Bobby talking with President Trump.
Yep.
And
there were the rumors that the VP slot was still open.
Yeah. Yep. But this was that, we talked about it, I think Max Miller said it earlier when we were speaking to him, the turning point. Mm-hmm. That really was a turning point in that election because that's when I think for a lot of Americans, we knew that there was a division there, but we saw it. We really saw it. And it was one of those where there was a fork in the road. And we could have either did all right, well, no, we're going to continue to sit here and just, bicker at each other and not really come up with anything and have one side be one side and this side be this and the independents stay in the middle or, lean one way or lean the other. And we're all just going to continue not to talk to each other and just watch this all sink eventually. Or, and thank God we didn't go down that path. Or we could go the other path where it's like, you know what? It's weird because a lot of us want the same things. A lot of us want, we want to be able to buy a house. We want to be able to get, groceries. We want to be able to live in this country where our rights are being upheld and things that we hold dear, faith, family, freedom, are defended. And that's when you started to see that unity party kind of come together, and you saw Tulsi Gabbard come out. It would have been a month and 1 week from now, 2 years ago, is when Bobby Kennedy, he endorsed President Trump at that Turning Point event there in Phoenix. We started to see the things come together. This was such a crazy moment. And I mean, as you said, Kenny, when you were quoting your wife, that is presidential. Look, you could say that the tweets aren't presidential. You could say the jokes and all these different things, and I'll listen to it. I wouldn't necessarily agree on all of it. But I get where you're coming from. But this, I mean, really think about it. In that moment, he could have easily just laid down on the ground, got hurried off. But, you know, he cares. He cares for the people. He cares for the country so much that he felt the need to go, whoa. I got to let them know I'm okay. Fight. And it's lived on. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the slogan. I mean, Jack in Cleveland, when he calls.
Every time he calls.
Fight.
Fight.
And it showed that because for a long time, that American fight wasn't on display. Mm-hmm. At least publicly. I mean, among us, among each other, you know, each day we're fighting, you know, when we're going to work or we're doing all these different things, you know, trying to pay bills. We have that American spirit, that American fight in us. And this was the first time in a long time it was on display for the entire world to see. Because if you remember, and I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theories of it, but if you remember, CNN was carrying that live.
Yeah.
MSNBC was carrying that live. Fox was carrying that live. Everybody was carrying that live. And it from the campaign side of it, where we were involved, it was interesting to hear security talk about it. Because if you go, we only had one event outside, and it was the Declaring Independence event there in Philadelphia. And even that, all that was enclosed. Every bit of it was enclosed. You know, you never let somebody get the high ground. So as the reports are coming out and I'm looking at this and I'm going, you're telling me nobody was walking the tree line.
Oh, remember the slope though?
That's right. Yes. The slope. I don't know what the slope had to do with the ladder that was placed on the side of the building. That's still confusing to me. But and then, you know, we all saw the videos of the people going, "Hey, there's someone up there. Mm-hmm. Hey guys. Hey, there's somebody up there." And they're going,
one of ours? Is that us?
Right.
You know?
Right. And the whole thing was crazy. And yeah, those beautiful charts. I love those charts. You know, when he just turned his head right at the end, and the picture that will always stand out to me, it's not the fight. It's the one where he turns his head and you see.
Yes, you see
the bullet. And you're like, whoa.
So close.
I mean, I
Let's not forget Corey Compatore.
Yes.
We did lose someone
that
day.
So, you know, to the
protecting
people,
his wife and daughter.
Yeah. So to the people that sit there, and because there are still the people that will say that it's faked. It's absolutely stupid. Somebody lost their life. Like, do we think so little of human life that they like? This is what concerns me with people that think that way. So you think so little of human life that you would be willing to just throw it away to try to make a political point? Come on. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of deranged people in D.C. I don't see anybody doing that. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But 2 years ago, and it doesn't feel like 2 years. It's crazy. I mean, a lot has happened in these 2 years. But I'm very thankful to have a Republican in the White House, because I don't know how this stuff would have gone if it were a Democrat. And look, I'm not, you know, trying to put anybody down or anything like that. I am just thankful that we have. It seems like compared to the last administration, we got the adults in the room. It seems like, you know, Dad came home, so we all gotta straighten up our act. That's how it feels. Let's see. Somebody said Butler was not a come together moment for all Americans as 9/11 was. The left was collectively celebrating and wishing the assassination had succeeded.
Yep.
And also claiming it was faked, as they still do. That's from down in Lakewood. You're not wrong, but also remember that a lot of people also crossed over and voted for Trump because of that, and the things that came after that. So don't let the loud ones get in the way of the ones that have common sense. That's all I'm saying there. We'll talk about this more when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or watch us live. We're on Rumble, X, and YouTube. When you search the Jake Underwood Show, we're talking about 2 years ago. Butler, PA. And just the way that it changed a lot of things. I think it changed the mindset for a lot of people. I think it made us want to work together. And now I would agree with that texter. It wasn't as strong as 9/11. 9/11, that was the way we came together after that. I mean, that was looking back now, it's crazy to think it was only 25 years ago that we were that close and how divided we've become in that time.
Yeah, September 12th, 2001 was the most united I've ever seen this country.
Every house had an American flag. Like I remember like thinking, and I mean I was young at the time, but I remember thinking like, you know what? This is what it must have been like growing up in the 50s. Mm-hmm. Just, like everybody was talking to everybody. You had American flags. It was that was. There
was absolutely no road rage.
Right, none.
Everyone was letting everyone else.
Yeah, no, there was just the mindset and the way we were united. It was something.
Which this kind of came close to an extent, but there were a lot of people out there that showed their true colors.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, even during 9/11, there were people out there that were showing their true colors.
As amplified because we didn't have social media.
There it is. Like Michael Moore was too busy writing Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah, he was too busy writing it to tweet.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And that, had we had Twitter back then, I think it would have been pretty close. But I know a lot of people that didn't really pay attention to things, and they saw that and they went, "Wow, like that's where we're at." And he didn't cower away. He stood up and he stood by what he was saying, and he's fight in the whole thing. They got to, because remember, he won the popular vote. And this all it's one of those where you got to look, and I talk about it a lot. God with the path. And you got to just look at the steps and the stepping stones that God lays out. And that was one of them. That was absolutely one of them. And then you could see how it all came together. And then you had JD with Vice, and then you had the convention, Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock. You had all this different stuff where, and oddly enough, it sounds weird saying it with Hulk Hogan and then Kid Rock, both older people, if you're going by entertainment standards.
It's crazy to me that Kid Rock's an older person.
Right.
Right. Hogan, yes, of course, but
it did a few things for the party also, because you have to remember that it kind of took away that stuffiness from the Republican Party, because it was, hey, if you're against that, you're with us. Mm-hmm. You just are, because nobody. Social media. You're going to see all the loonies because everybody, they get in their little echo chambers, and so people that really have 5,000 supporters will get something trending, and then everybody thinks that's how everybody feels, and that's not true. It's absolutely not true. But there was this wave of just, this isn't okay. That really. I mean, it took off. It just did, and you saw people start to come together. There were the people that you think were a little loony. You notice that they didn't post as much. You're going, oh, I know you're not complaining as much as you did. What's going on? And then you talk to them, and they're like, well, I voted. Oh, did you vote for him? Oh, wow, look at you. Okay, wow, that's crazy. Because I was a racist for not wanting higher taxes, and now you're like, oh yeah, no, let's do it. That's interesting. But it created a whole opportunity, and you know what? He deserved it. He deserved that opportunity. He deserved that opportunity to get up there and tell people and to have the attention that he did. So I am so thankful that it didn't take him out, that it was unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it to the point I'd forgotten his name. I forgot the shooter. Yeah, me too. I forgot his name.
Yeah, me too. You asked me during the break one time, and I was like, I couldn't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah. So I'm
which is fine. I don't want to remember his name. Remembering those things. That's why, like, when we have these stories and you don't mention their name, I applaud that.
Yeah, no, I refuse. I refuse to do it. But yeah, 2 years. That's absolutely crazy.
I know. It seems like it should have been at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, it really
does.
And with all the things that have happened and all the executive orders and just everything, it's crazy how quick time moves. But thank God that didn't happen for a few reasons. Not only because he is president, but could you imagine? I mean the
divide.
Oh man, if he would have been successful with that, that would have been. I mean, America as we know it would have been done. It absolutely would have been done.
Who knows who would have been president right now?
That's exactly right.
At the time, I think the leading other candidate that was still kind of in the running was Nikki Haley.
Yeah, because she won D.C.
Yeah, she was the only one that, that's what we were looking at between Nikki Haley. We would have been looking at Nikki Haley or Kamala Harris.
Oh, boy.
We might not, and actually, we might not be looking back at anything right now.
Right.
We might not be looking back at anything.
Right.
Might not be on the air. We might not be on this planet.
That would have been. Yeah, God bless the broken road. That's how I look at it. God bless the broken road. But 2 years ago, that's. Whew. Yeah, when I saw that this morning, I was like, really? That blew my mind, because he won the popular vote, he got the college, and things were going good. Things were going, and then Iran put it a little bit of a speed bump, but I think we're going to recover from it.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, they keep going back and forth.
Well, that's really the thing that people are really fired up about now is Iran, and I mean we'll talk about that also because it's back to being back and forth.
Well, I just read something that Trump said that they had a deal in place, but they broke it before they could even finalize it.
Yeah.
And he said this happens way too
all
often.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time. But once again, I'm thankful President Trump is still here.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't take him out. I'm thankful that it was unsuccessful. And and listen, I know people think I'm anti-Trump. Far from it. I will criticize when he does some goofy stuff, which he does, but that's all right. But I never want someone to die because I disagree politically. That's crazy. And if you know anybody who's like that, get them help. I mean, that's the nicest way I could say it because we're on the radio. But if you know somebody who thinks like that, I mean, first of all, pray for them, and secondly, get them help. I mean, it's so crazy. And then now we got the Tyler Robinson stuff. With the preliminary hearing that ended on Friday, so we'll get the details and everything coming up.
Well, and these kind of things, I kind of look at them as kind of a silver lining to it. Is it's kind of a social media cleanse, because when you have people out there celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, when you have people out there wishing he didn't miss when it came to Butler, you can very easily
go, okay.
Yeah,
I know what you're like.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I don't need your negativity.
Yeah, I never want to see anyone celebrating death.
No.
Absolutely not. Just no, not in that, not in that way. There's I can, and I try to understand people's mindsets. I don't think I can ever understand that mindset.
No,
I couldn't.
I mean, the closest I get is pedophiles and terrorists.
Yeah, no, and that, okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah, that's the closest I get to being like, okay, good.
Yeah, but it just, it's this where people build up that somebody's so evil in their head, and there's no fact to back it, to the point that they go as far as, they did in Butler, or as far as they went with Charlie in Utah. And we can't do that. We absolutely can't do that. And this is where I like to remind people the First Amendment is put in place for the ones that you disagree with.
This is true.
That's why the First Amendment is there. Because President Trump, even though, these people disagree with him, he's allowed to say what he wants to say. It's the same with Kamala Harris. She's allowed to say what she wants to say. As goofy as it is, giggle, giggle, giggle. But, she's allowed to.
And that's why we need to fight so hard to make sure that
Correct.
It stays as is, because you find yourself on that other side sometimes, which a lot of us did during COVID.
And not only that, but if you have people telling you that, well, this certain segment of people are evil and this is evil and that's evil, and you got to be careful when people are talking like that, because you don't know what they're capable of. Because once you come up to the mindset of someone is evil, there's a lot of extreme things that could happen. So
and they justify it to themselves.
Correct, and that's the biggest danger, is when people justify their actions to themselves, because then they become reckless and you don't know what they're going to do, and that's what we saw in Butler. But 2 years ago, thank God President Trump is president and that he's all right. That's the main thing there. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll give you an update on Iran, because we were talking about it a little bit. I'll give you the updates on it. That and more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM, or we're on YouTube, we're on X, we're on Rumble. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. When we do have some updates when it comes to Iran and what's going on there. President Trump posting on Truth Social saying that the Strait of Hormuz is open and will remain open with or without Iran. So they're putting back into place the blockade, and from this point forward, will be known as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. So get ready to buy your T-shirt. That's what that means. But President Trump was on with Fox News this morning speaking about, there was a deal in place, and then like literally as they're negotiating things, Iran goes and does what Iran does, and that's attack their neighbors. And President Trump's going, well, then I guess we don't have a deal. You know what goes on here is basically the reaction that he's having. So this is courtesy of Fox News. This is President Trump speaking about the deal that was in place, and then Iran did what they do.
But we had a deal. What nobody knows, we had a deal. It was a done deal. And then they broke it. They always break it. We've had 10 deals with these people, and so we're just going to hit them very hard. And we're gonna keep the strait, and we'll probably run it. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait. And we should be reimbursed for that. When we do that, we're going to be reimbursed because the other nations are very wealthy. They're on our side. And we can't be expected to do that for nothing, unlike we had for many years. You know, we guarded the strait for 50 years more, and we never got paid for it. They made all the money, and the United States was just, they wouldn't. It's amazing. It's we never made. We guarded it for nothing. And now we're going to guard it. We're going to get paid for guarding it, a lot of money. But we just want to be reimbursed for doing all of this, for putting our people in danger. But we're really not putting people, we're really saving people. Remember this, they killed 52,000 protesters so far. As of this moment, the number is 52,000. So who's going to protest? And a lot of people are surprised about the protesting, that they haven't. But nobody's going to protest when they get shot. They have AK-47s. They have machine guns aimed at people's heads. If you move 1 foot further, you get shot. And then they'll shoot 10 of them, and everybody flees. Who's not going to flee? They don't have guns.
Right.
So,
but yeah, the main thing, the breaking news is the fact there was a deal made, and then they decided, man, never mind. And when I say they, I mean Iran. Mm-hmm. Iran decided that they didn't want a deal. It wasn't convenient to them. So they went on to, attack their neighbors yet again. Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Qatar, and then the United Arab. Thank you. So then the United States has to respond, and the way that they're responding this time is by saying the Strait of Hormuz is blocked again because we can't trust you with missiles, let alone nukes. You say that there's a deal, there's not a deal. So, I mean that's That's where it stands. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that these are grown adults, right? And I'm not talking about the people on our side. And look, you could say that President Trump is temperamental and, he says some off-the-wall stuff. And, yeah, he does. Most of the time it's funny. But you could say these things. It doesn't seem to be the case here. It seems that the United States is willing to talk and negotiate and actually, figure something out and come to a deal. And Iran just doesn't want to. They're sitting there, oh, yeah, no, we agree. And then, they're signing it with the right hand, and with the left hand, they're throwing bombs. What's going on? It goes to show why a lot of people didn't want to do this with Iran. That's one. And two, it just goes to show what people in that area have been dealing with for 50 years. So we had to step up. We had to do something with this. And I'm not war guy. I've said that time and time again, and I'm not. But we had to get involved. Now, I will say this. There's going to be that 20%. They're going to take 20%, the United States is, as a payment for this. Kenny and I were talking about it during the break, and Kenny brought up a great point because I go, gas prices, they might change a little bit. And Kenny, you brought up the point of, well, these oil companies, they're being looked into. We got to figure out what's going on because a barrel of oil, it actually went down lower than what it was before the conflict even started. And gas prices were still $3.70, $3.60, $3.50.
We saw 10 cents maybe drop off our gas prices when it should have been down at least to $2.50.
Right.
At least.
Yeah.
based on the oil prices before the war or conflict, whatever, before, and then what it is now. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. No, it's just nuts. It's nuts to. So I mean, every companies are going to get theirs. We know that.
Yeah, but they don't need to be turning record profits on the backs of American citizens.
They're taking advantage of the situation. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when that comes out. And the reason why that's important, because you might be sitting there and you're going, well, what does that have to do with that? That's dumb that you guys are even talking about that. Well, let me explain. Because at that point, that's what we see. As we're driving down the street, that's what we see. And whether we like it or not, gas prices are the thing that is going to trigger whether or not this is successful. For the average people, for the average voter that's not connected, that isn't, listening to news radio or watching the news or following what's happening, they just see the gas price, they go, that's higher than it was. I don't like that. I mean, it's all a strategy leading up to November with the election. That's what this is, and that's ultimately, I believe that's what Iran wants to do. They know that if they sit here and they drag their feet, it could be very there could be trouble for the Republicans come November, and they know that. So they're going to try to put the pressure on this administration that way. Now, I will say this, I don't think the administration cares that much because they're trying to figure this out and get this over and done with. But that's what this is. Iran's trying to influence our election. So I want to know where all the protesters are that scream about election interference. This is election interference. Whether people realize it or not, Iran's playing around with this deal because they know that they believe, I don't want to say they know because we don't know for sure, but they believe that this is going to put pressure on the Trump administration because they're going to want to keep the House, they're going to want to keep the Senate, and they believe that they can pressure people into voting a different way because gas prices are high and different things are high. That's what this is. It's a strategy. Now, the way that we make sure that doesn't work is by going out and voting, by going out and making sure that we're informed, by going out and making sure that we vote for the right people.
They think the average American voter is fickle and weak. And by dragging this out, they can manipulate these gas prices, and they think that these gas prices are enough for you to say, no, we need different.
Yep. No, that's exactly right.
That's what they think. Now, are they right?
For some people, yeah.
For some people, they are. Hopefully, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting the timing of it all because it is a midterm election. It's not a presidential election, so a lot of people aren't engaged right now. So they're trying to take advantage of that. They can look at the polls. They see the numbers. They see the way that these elections usually turn out. So that's why we need to get out. We need to make sure that we're voting, and we need to make sure that let's prove them wrong is the main thing. Let's prove Iran wrong by standing up, knowing what we're doing, knowing what we're voting for, and we don't let them take advantage of this situation. And that's really what it comes down to. Make a deal. And look, you know what's funny? If hypothetically, come November and Republicans show up and they vote and they're engaged and they're ready to go, and it doesn't go the way that all these polls seem to be saying it's going to be this blue wave or this blue tsunami come November, which I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that does not happen. Mm-hmm. And that's why, we're talking about the things that we are here, and we're giving you the heads up on all of this. But this is Iran's plan. They're hoping that people get discouraged. They're hoping that people, they look at the gas prices and they go, well, time for a change. We got to switch things up. And that's not necessarily the case. That's not necessarily the case, especially now. So prove them wrong. We're not fickle like that. Are there some? Yeah, there are. But that's why we got to balance it out. We need informed people to go out there and vote and make sure that we make the difference in this upcoming election. At least, look, we could take care of it here in Ohio. That's the only thing that we can do, so that's what we need to do. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about this a little bit more. And then we'll also talk about there's some stuff that came out from NEO Trans blog about vacant lots on the east side and what they might be doing with that. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or free. You can watch us on X, Rumble, and YouTube when you search the Jake Underwood Show. I wish I had more to tell you when it came to the Iran conflict, the update, but it's going to continue to be a back and forth. That's the way that it's looking.
It's just constantly a wait and see.
Yeah, and we know what they're trying to do. They're trying to interfere with the election. They're trying to make sure that people don't have the confidence in the Trump administration. So if they don't have that confidence in a Republican president, what Iran hopes will happen is that they will not have that confidence in Republican reps, senators, leadership at the state level. So basically what I'm saying is don't give in to Iran. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Make sure you go vote and make sure that you know the people that are smart and get them to go vote.
Well,
that's the way that works.
For the most part, our audience at least understands the severity of what's going on.
Yes.
Understands what's at stake if we let Iran become a nuclear power.
Well, yeah, it's all mind games at this point. I mean, Iran's not going to become a nuclear power anytime soon.
No.
They're not. I mean, they don't have much military left.
No.
At this point. So now they're mad. They're not going to get their way. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure that the Trump administration doesn't get their way. So I mean, that's just it's the game. You know, we talk about all the time the political game. They're playing the game right now, and it's costing us because we're seeing, like I said, the average American as they're driving down the street, all they just see prices. When they're in the grocery store, they just see prices. If they're not paying attention to the news and what's going on and understand there is a psychology to all of this. There is a way that they're approaching this, and I'm talking about Iran. There's the way that they're approaching this because they want to screw over the Trump administration, and they know that if prices remain high, there's a good chance that happens. And the reason why, like, I don't want people to think that I'm being negative or anything like that when I talk about the potential of a blue wave. It's because it's a real potential.
It's a reality.
Right.
It's possible.
And that's why I want to make sure that we know what's going on. We know how to combat it. We know how to get people, we know that we need to get people out there to vote, whether it's knocking doors, going to your local, party organizations, going to places like McFan, different places like that, where you go and you get involved and, you see a candidate there. What can I do to help? That's the main thing.
Or it's something as simple of just talking to your friends and family.
That too.
And reminding them of the midterm vote coming up, because a lot of people, and it's stupid, I don't understand it. I vote in everything I possibly can, but a lot of people take it off for every 4 years.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's not the big headlines. That's what it is. They love the pageant, and I know people like to say that it's annoying, and maybe some people, but they love the pageantry of it all. Oh, are you kidding? They love the speeches and the rallies and those pictures from way up there in the rafters where you see all the people gather. They love that stuff. I love it.
And the debates,
right,
and everything, yeah.
They love that side of it. So, that kind of gets them engaged in it. And we don't necessarily have that for the midterms. Now, I mean, the Republican Party down in Texas, they are going to have a convention this year. So maybe that'll get people geared up, ready to go. So, we'll see the results of that. Hopefully it's that people get out and they're ready to go.
And I would think at some point here, which I don't know what's taken so long. At some point here, we should have a debate between Shutdown Amy and Vivek. I would hope.
I would hope, yeah.
I would think. So maybe that'll spark some interest, get people more motivated.
That's going to be such an interesting debate. Yeah, no, that's going to be, or at the very least, the lieutenant governors. There should be a debate.
Yes.
I mean, we have the vice presidential debate. Let's get the lieutenant governors in there for a debate.
But, I mean, we've got to have one between Acton and Ramaswamy.
I would
hope.
Yeah.
Right? There's got to be at least one.
Yeah, we're going to have to check the schedule and see if something's scheduled. Because there has to be.
I haven't seen anything on it yet, but.
There has to be.
We're in the middle of July.
I want to go cover that in person. Are you kidding? I'll set up down there. That would be. I'd do a special broadcast for that. That'd be incredible. Oh, I would love that. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out on that. If anybody knows any details on that, let us know on the text line, 866-525-0955. If you know any details on if there's a governor debate coming up.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up yet. I
Yeah.
literally just thought of it. So, but
yeah, I guess in my head I just assumed that it was going to happen. So yeah, we'll find out the details on that. See if there's anything rumored or anything. But that's what Iran's hoping, that they get you discouraged. Iran's hoping that you see gas prices and these different things, because look, they know if they get a deal, what's going to happen? The gas prices are going to go down. We're seeing it now. Iran knows this, and Iran knows the moment they decide to bomb a ship in the Strait, the moment they decide to bomb Kuwait or just the different countries around there, they know that gas prices are then going to go up because there's going to be a blockade put in place. Iran knows all of this, and they know that they're messing with us. You have to remember, a lot of these people in Iran, they don't like us. They've never liked us. They don't like the American way. They don't understand it. They don't want to. And on top of it, they believe that they are supreme. They believe that they should rule everything. So you have to understand, that's the mindset. So why would they make a deal with a terrible country like us? We're so beneath them. So that's why they're sitting here and they're playing the game. They want to go, they want to do the back and forth. Because they know that they believe, because they know the effects that it will have on the economy with prices going up, going down, up and down, up and down. They believe that we are going to be just so frustrated that we're going to go, never mind President Trump, and just push our nose up to everything. This administration's terrible. And that's not going to be the case. And we just have to make sure that we get the people out there to vote to make sure that that's not the case. Plus, we have the constitutional amendment with voter ID on the ballot. We should all be out there. This is, and I know it's so tiring hearing this is the most important election. And I'm sure we'll hear that on sweepers and stuff. Not taking a shot at the station, Dale. You're doing a great job. But I'm sure we're going to hear that because I'm going to try to do election coverage. We'll see if that happens. I would love to do that.
But honestly, every election going forward just seems to be so important.
Well, and I'll say locally, this is an important election.
It's an extremely important election. There's a lot of seats that are up for grabs.
Not only the seats, but the mindset and the policies that go along with it. I'm going to be honest. I haven't really looked into the Acton Pepper ticket when it comes to how they feel about property tax. But I can assume, because they are Democrats, I can assume that they don't want to get rid of it. They don't have a plan to try to phase it out. Whereas
Democrats don't phase out taxes;
right.
They increase them.
Correct. And like I said, I'm trying to be fair. I haven't looked into that part of it when it comes to that campaign. But we probably next week, I plan on doing it. We're going to do a full breakdown on what they've put out, and just so we have an understanding of where they're at. I don't know. That might be this week. Now that it's on my mind, because I already started the research. Yeah, that might be this week. But I'll give you updates on that as it comes closer. But they going back to Iran, it's so important to keep that in mind. They're manipulating you. That's what this is. They are trying to manipulate. They are trying to get you frustrated, and they believe that frustration. See, this is where they don't understand it, because they've never had a democracy or a republic where people have a say. They assume that just automatically you're going to go to leadership. Which, yeah, sometimes you do. But also, when you understand the context of it, and that's what they're trying to do, you're only going to make the support for this administration stronger. And that's what needs to be understood. And that's why we need to show up. That's the main thing we need to do. We need to show up to support the right candidates, make sure we get the right people in there, especially when it's John Husted versus Sherrod Brown. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I mean, just... if they're...
Well, another thing, too, real quick, if we could stick it to Iran on this, show them that we're not going to take the bait.
There will be a deal made.
And that also shows other regimes out there that, hey, maybe this actually don't work as well as we thought it would.
Correct. Yeah, because you have to remember, if Iran is successful in this, you're going to see a lot of copycats.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot of countries try to do the same thing. And we're not going to let them do that. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, we're not going to let them do that. So just make sure you get out and you vote. Any updates come with Iran, I'll make sure you know. I'm going to tell you right now, and some higher-ups have gotten on me about this. When there's an announcement of a deal, I'm not going to start doing backflips. If you notice, I haven't for the last few times that a deal has been announced. Because
we've had 6 of them,
right? But because I know the way that it's going to go, I'm not going to sit here and do backflips. So if that's what you're expecting, it's not going to happen because I know who we're dealing with. I'm looking at the track record. I'm not trying to, pontificate and kiss cheeks. This is the Jake Underwood Show. When we come back, we're going to talk about the plans for some vacant lots on the east side. I'll give you the details when we come back right after this.
National headlines matter, but what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the final hour of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or watch us on Rumble, X, and YouTube when you search the Jake Underwood Show. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Kenny Kidd. Good morning, Kenny.
Hi.
How's it going, Kenny?
Great.
Very good. Glad to hear it.
Good.
It's a Monday.
It is a Monday.
It's a Monday. It's nice out. It's kind of sunny, I guess. It's just partly cloudy.
So partly sunny.
Yeah, partly sunny. That's right.
We're optimistic here.
That's right. And almost 80 degrees. I heard it's supposed to get hot again this week.
Yeah, I think mid-90s by Wednesday, I think it was. Either tomorrow or Wednesday, one of the two. We're supposed to get up to the mid-90s.
Well, maybe Mondani will set his thermostat to 85 this time. Just,
maybe.
Take it easy on everybody.
Probably not.
Right. So what? This is the story caught my attention locally here. We've talked about it on this show. I have in my head, I know what I would do about the housing situation and all the vacant lots there on the east side. Well, NEO Transit blog and Ken Pendergast, he does a great job. Just, he has his finger on the pulse of all of this, and he's one of the people that I read when I need to know what's going on. And it made headlines. A lot of people, I don't know if you know this or not, but Bezos actually gave $10 million to Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with the Earth Fund grant. So what? And in fact, he's actually given money to like Cleveland Public Schools. Like, there's been a lot of money exchanged there, a lot of grants, which is awesome. I mean, that's incredible. But so $10 million given to this Earth Fund grant, excuse me. And there's different things that they could do with it. So just to give you an idea of how, because like I said, we all talk about the vacant lots, we all talk about the houses that have been torn down, just to give you an idea of what it like really looks like. Going back to the 1960s, the Huff, St. Clair, Superior area once had nearly 100,000 residents.
Wow.
In that area. And today it's fewer than 20,000.
That's insane. Wow.
So when you look at that area, it's about 2,200 acres, and almost half of that is vacant. And there's a total of about 6,000 vacant lots. So a lot of opportunity there, a lot of potential there is the way that you need to look at that. And right now, it sounds like what they're doing is they're kind of looking at different development efforts and different, ideas. And real quick, just to give you an understanding of 1/3 of that belongs to the City of Cleveland Land Bank properties. So this is, make sure that they're upkept, grass is cut, different things like that, and to help with the financial burden. So right now, the three main things that they're looking at now, and I will tell you what I think they should do with it, because I know a lot of people, they complain they don't give solutions. I've talked about the solution before, and I'll remind you all again. But right now, so the city has created a 1,500-acre homing initiative. Okay, this would cover Huff, Central, St. Clair, and Superior, and this would waive permit fees. There would be tax incentives, infrastructure improvements, and new housing construction. So right now, there would be 20 single-family homes, 10 renovated homes, and 2 renovated storefronts. That's what it includes right now. I think they could do a lot more. Going to be honest with you. But right now, because this would be through tax increment financing, and they're saying that it could generate anywhere between $64 million and $182 million over 30 years, which is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, especially for an area that went from 100,000 residents to what did I say?
20.
Yeah, fewer than 20,000. That's a big deal, and that could be very beneficial. Then there's another idea. And this would be kind of, make it like its own little district, 350 acres of industrial land. And this would be along, because Norfolk Southern, they own one of the rail lines there. So this would be along that area. So, you would have, job opportunities, some bigger markets, some good opportunities going there. Then, as I said, the $10 million Bezos Earth Fund grant. Now, what this would go towards would be things like creating parks, reducing illegal dumping. So, when you see tires and just garbage all over the place, stuff like that, planting native trees, vegetation, I'm looking at the technical terms here, and this is the stuff. It just drives me up a wall. Building gathering spaces, supporting urban agriculture. Like, it's just those the goofy stuff like that. Now, what the way they need to go about this with building the houses, I'm going to tell you again. And listen, I've told people that have ran for mayor this. I've told people that have ran for Congress this. And if I had Amy Acton or Vivek's here, I would tell them this plan also, because it would have everybody in the community involved. And that's how this needs to work. If you're going to do this properly with rebuilding all of this, you need to do it the right way. You have the land, you have the money, you have the opportunity here. What you need to do is team up with a company like Habitat for Humanity, one of these companies that go and they build the houses and the down payment is sweat equity. Actually get the local high schools, the shops, the shop classes, the trade schools involved in this. Give them on the site experience in building these houses. Plus you have the people who want to move into these neighborhoods. You're having them build it up. And I know it sounds far-fetched, like an extreme home makeover, like the old TV show type thing, but that's exactly what you're going to need. You have 2,200 acres of just vacant land that once served as housing for people. You're going to have to rebuild that. Like, I know the whole plan is this walkable city and it's all going to be incredible. And then everybody will, they'll all go to the park and they'll listen to jazz or whatever it is that they want to do. But it's not realistic because you need to build homes in these areas. We're seeing the decline with the schools. We're seeing the decline with the areas. And if you get more people to invest in the area, you're going to get more police. Whether that's by demanding it or the city makes a smart move, which I know sounds crazy, but where they would actually go, all right, we have to invest police into this area. I'm not saying it's going to get up to over 100,000 again, but you could see a significant increase there if you're willing to put that time and effort into those areas, and they're getting the funding for it. Absolutely. Plant the trees, do all of that. If you want to have a corner park here or there, okay. But they have to start creating opportunities for people. And I don't just mean with jobs and different things. I mean to own homes. Because I'll tell you right now, if they start building apartment buildings there, I might lose my mind. There's a good chance. I'll go down there and chain myself to a tree or something. I don't know. Because I think people have had it with the apartment buildings and just the insane, rates of rent. But what you do, you get everyone involved in this. You make sure that you get the local high schools involved. Like I said, shop classes, you get the trade schools involved. Give it some fancy name and then, run away with it. And listen, Mayor Bibb, if you do this properly, you could run for another office on this, on the success of this. You start to build it up in the neighborhoods. Like I said, sweat equity for the down payment. That there are companies that do that anyways. Give them a 5 to 10 year tax abatement. You could give it to the big businesses. You could give it to the people and the families investing in the area. And then, we all talk about the old neighborhoods. That's how you start to build that back up. That's how you start to do that. And then you're going to see safer areas in the city. Why? Because they care. They actually built that house. They actually invested in that community, and you're going to start seeing people go to the schools, and you're going to see the people care when they go to the school meetings, when they do these things. That's how you start to build this up. It might seem far-fetched. And don't get me wrong, it might be, but you got to start somewhere. And I think this is where you start. You got to do this the right way. This is an incredible opportunity for the city of Cleveland to really bring those people back, for them to really start to care about these neighborhoods and really care about the city and provide them an opportunity to own a house and do these different things. So don't mess it up. We'll talk about this more. We have to take a break. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on Rumble, X, and YouTube when you search the Jake Underwood Show. We're talking about an opportunity for those vacant lots that you see on the east side when you're driving around. If you're driving around on the east side, I don't know. I feel like there's not many people that are doing that.
Cutting through.
Right. But we know of it. We've spoken about it, and I think a lot of people, when they see it, they go, I wonder how many there are. Well, there's 2,200 acres worth. That's 6,000 vacant lots. And they're trying to do something about it. They're trying to do something about it. And right now, plans include, what was it? Where's it at? Here it is. 20 new single-family homes, 10 renovated homes, and 2 renovated storefronts. Which, don't get me wrong, absolutely.
It's a good start.
Like, here, this is, we talk about all the money, like the lead paint money. What was that? $3 million that they just let it go away. I mean, they tried.
Uh-huh.
They tried.
It did not work.
And it did not work. It did not work. They tried.
Frankly, it did not work.
That's right. Thank you.
It did not work.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Bibb. So, like, they've tried doing this stuff before. I mean, that money they just lost because they didn't do anything with it because there's 20 different people. Well, actually, I think it's 42 different people and steps that you have to go through just to get something approved at City Hall because committee, hike, hand off. I mean, that's what they do down there. But there's a really good way that they could do this, and they can, because we talk about it a lot, that sense of community, that pride that people have in the old neighborhood. This is that opportunity to bring it back if they do it the right way. They don't grandstand, don't do all of that. We don't need more murals painted on a wall. We don't need things like that. What we need is actual common sense when it comes to this. Give people the opportunity. A lot of people, they want to buy a house, they might not be able to afford that down payment, so let them earn that through sweat equity. These are the steps that you have to take. Because of the situation that it is now, and the people that live in Cleveland, there's a good chance that they would want to get a new house, and maybe they're willing to put in that work. And sweat equity can mean anything. That can mean you're pounding a nail into a frame, or you're making sandwiches for the workers. Like, there's a lot of ways that you could get sweat equity depending on the company that you go through. The city of Cleveland could really, they could get ahead of this. They really could, and they could provide a good opportunity to build up that sense of pride and community, and just build up those neighborhoods again. So you care, so you're worried. You know your neighbor. You know them because you both were working on your house at the same time. It's that what we talk about that was there in the 1950s or even the 1930s that build up those neighborhoods. They have the chance to do it. I just hope they don't screw it up. Like, they really have a good opportunity here. That's what they need to do. Get the schools involved. Get the trade schools involved. Get the high schools involved. It makes too much sense. Get them on the job experience, because that turns around and that translates to a good job, which is more money coming into the city. Instead of just, handing out, these people want to build downtown. Well, let's cut their taxes, or, these people don't want to build in the right area of downtown. Let's let them leave. Like, you can actually start to invest. Now, what makes me nervous is that it's not downtown, so I don't know that they're going to handle it correctly. That's the worst part of all of this, because if this were downtown, oh man, they would have committees on it. It'd be the most beautiful thing, and it'd probably be in the shape of a guitar because it's Cleveland and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But the neighborhoods outside of there, this is a chance to build it back up. This is a chance to get people that maybe wouldn't have given Cleveland the opportunity, but they know that they can invest. And this is where it's different. It's not just somebody moving to the city of Cleveland. It's the city of Cleveland also investing in the people. So they're going to want it to be successful. I mean, could you imagine the press? Hypothetically, if they do this the right way, can you imagine the positive press that's going to be surrounding Cleveland if they do this right? Like I said, this is that platform that somebody can use to jump to a higher office. Looking at you, Mayor, because we know that's the next step for you. We can tell by the way that you talk and the talking points and all that. And that's fine, but do something do something worthwhile while you're there. I'll just add to the business space downtown. I'll just try the walkable city thing in Nowaka. Actually do something for the people. I mean, those neighborhoods, you would see crime go down. Because you would have people that invest. You would have a neighborhood watch. You would have those. Because they're putting into it, and the city's putting into it. And you're going to see the people start to come together a little bit. It's just, man.
There's just so much good that can be done with this. So much good, provided it's done correctly. If it's not done correctly, then it's just going to be a complete waste of time and money.
As somebody texted in and said, Jake, with all due respect, I don't think you're familiar with Cleveland's specific neighborhood issues. I grew up on the east side of Cleveland. That same. East 55th and Broadway is where my family's from. I spent a lot of time down there. Every other home lot is now an empty one. Yep. Strewn with trash. Yep. Nobody has wanted to invest in building in areas like that due to rampant crime and wholesale neglect. Sad fact. No, and you're not wrong. But what I'm saying is the money's already there, so they are investing. That's the $10 million Earth Fund grant. And then there's also the things that they're working on, the Home Innovation District. So what I'm saying, the investments are already going there. So it's not a question of who. They already have it. The question is now, what are they going to do with it? And are they going to do it the right way? That text was from Don in Lakewood. You're not wrong. People normally don't invest in that area, but they are now. That's why I'm like, can we take advantage of it? We need to. They got to do something. Because, they're talking about the schools are getting worse. All this stuff's getting worse. So eventually, like, it's that question. What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, it's got to boomerang back.
Yeah, at some point. And this is the chance to do that. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's a way that they could go about this and do it the right way and actually build up the area. Not just, not just line somebody's pockets, which is why it won't be done. But they can actually start to build this up and do it the right way, like we saw back in the 30s, like we saw back in the 50s when people with the white flight and different things. This is the chance to do it. Now, will they do it? I don't know. But I mean, that's something to keep an eye on. And I plan to keep an eye on it because I'm curious the way that they're going to do it. They're already talking about some money's going into this. So I don't know. Let's see. But 100,000 residents back in the 60s, down to fewer than 20,000. 2,200 acre. Just the entire area is vacant. It's crazy when you think about it. And the craziest part is, talking about development and everything, the roads are already there. Majority of the infrastructure is already there. Now, if they're going to take advantage of it, I don't know. But I'm just letting you guys know. This is, we'll see what happens.
Jim just called in and said that he's done work over there, and he said while he was over there, it was like a war zone. The roads, the empty lots, the empty houses,
it's crazy.
And we're kind of halfway there already with the empty lots, and some of the ones that are still standing, the houses. For how long? Those might be on the way out as well. But you can start fresh and you can start new again then.
Well, and that's really what I mean. That's what the whole thing with this is. I mean, this is a chance to start over and kind of get that fresh start. And I'm not talking about apartments. I'm not talking about condos. No. I'm talking about actual homes.
Yes.
That people can help build.
With a yard that your child can play in. Not built right on top of each other.
Like, I know it's really easy to poo-poo every idea that comes up with that area of Cleveland, but how do you expect it to get better?
Yeah, you've got to at least try.
Yeah, like, how do we expect it to get better? And I'm not asking that to be a smart aleck. Like, genuinely, how do you expect it to get better? If we're not gonna, we're just gonna look at it and go, nope, not gonna do it, not gonna get any better. We're just done with it. So it's just gonna get worse and worse.
Which I can understand if you're the one footing the money for it, but they've got the money coming in
right.
for it. So
that's what I mean.
Money, use it correctly.
The money's already coming in. It would be one thing, like Don said in the text, nobody wants to invest there, but they are. You're getting the money towards it. So do it the right way. Why drag your feet on it? Just do it. Get it done. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about a good bill that Governor DeWine signed. I know, it's crazy. He made a good decision. We'll tell you what it was when we come back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show, final half an hour of this Monday, July 13th, in the beautiful year that is 2026, in the greatest Cleveland area. Final half an hour. So and going back to the vacant lot stuff, we'll see what happens because they have the funding, they have money coming in, so we'll see what they do. I just hope they do a good job. It's a really good opportunity for the city of Cleveland to do the right thing here, and that's what makes me nervous about it.
I like the idea of putting in some business area, some industrial.
Yep.
If you got jobs there, you might have people wanting to move there.
Right.
And then the houses, like you said, I don't want to see apartments.
No. I can't with the apartment stuff.
You can't build a community in an apartment.
Well, here's the thing. I go the movie with Morgan Freeman, was it Lean on Me, where he plays the principal, Joe Carter?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. There's a line in that movie, and because it's based on a true story, and he talks about the cages in the cafeteria, and he goes, if you treat them like animals, that's exactly how they will act. Like when you talk to people that live in apartment buildings like that, they're miserable.
Yeah.
And they're not there by choice.
No, the idea of apartment should be for like a young adult just starting off in the world. That would be ideal.
So give them the opportunity to get a home. Invest in that area again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. Invest in that area again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're living in an apartment, you're not building a community because you're not outside taking care of your yard while your neighbor is, and then having that chat over the fence or whatever. You're not seeing everyone like that. Everyone's kind of more secluded.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what they do. We'll see what happens. As I said, before we went to break, we're going to break down Governor Mike DeWine. He signed a bill protecting deployed Ohio school board members. And, of course, this stems from Ashley McTaggart. Who did we talk about that when all that was going on with the Parma School? The Parma School Board and the different things that was just a goofy situation, the whole thing. I mean, if you remember Ashley McTaggart, of course, she was elected to the school board. She was one of two conservative-leaning people on the school board. There was 3-2. Some changes have happened since then. Of course, with the tragedy that happened at Valley Forge, someone stepped down. So now it's technically 2-2. I can't remember who was appointed, but it's a lot of changes have happened with the Parma School Board. And Ashley McTaggart, I mean, we spoke about it on air. There was the rally that they had and everything out there outside of Normandy where the school board meeting was happening, and people were there and speaking about it. And the whole time, all of this was going on. If you remember some of the details that came out where the school board was reaching out to the military to find out where she was, so she would have to attend the school board meeting. And, they wanted her they wanted to boot her. They wanted to kick her out of off a school board because she was deployed. Like, the whole thing was so ridiculous. It was absolutely crazy, all of it. All of it. And listen, I know a lot of people get frustrated with government. A lot of these bills that they pass or don't pass, especially when it comes to Governor DeWine, you get frustrated about, but this is a good one. And, of course, I'm talking about House Bill 455. And there were a few things that it addressed, but the big thing that it addressed when it comes to the situation we're talking about with Ashley McTaggart is that it allows elected school board members who are called to active military duty to remain in office while deployed. It prevents a deployment by itself to be treated as, they're just not showing up. It's not a no-call, no-show. They're busy. It's crazy that this had to even become a thing. It's crazy that this even had to be considered because just ego. Ego is what it comes down to. Like, look, yeah, school board is important. And look, here, this is the craziest part of all of it. We talk about property taxes and we talk about school levies and all this. And I hate to generalize. I absolutely hate to generalize. But you see the way that the school board was treating this woman who's a part of the school board and was actively deployed. And you immediately go to, these are the people that are trying to raise money. trying to raise taxes. These are the people that are in charge. They can't show enough compassion to go, this person is serving our country. They want her to lose her job.
No, it was a power grab.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane. And it wasn't justified at all. So I'm glad that, that there was enough ruckus made. People down in Columbus went, yeah, this isn't cool. This isn't okay. And they added this to House Bill 455, and that was signed into law last week, I believe on the 11th, the 10th, excuse me. It was signed into law, and it's going to go into effect in 90 days. So I'm curious to see how all that's going to pan out in 90 days. But, I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And it doesn't matter if it was Parma or any other school district. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Right, actually, what's wrong with you? That was the craziest thing to me. And then, oh my goodness, being at those meetings where they were just stalling for time, it was the whole thing was ridiculous. And I mean, Parma's got some other issues going on too. But that was oh man. So I'm glad they got involved. I'm glad that they stood up for the people that are fighting for us.
Exactly.
As crazy as that sounds, it should go without saying, if somebody's on active deployment, they shouldn't lose their job. It's not like they're on vacation, or like I said, it's not like they no-showed. They're a little busy. And for you to think that, a school board meeting should interfere with that was the craziest part of all the reports and everything that came out. The fact that they reached out to the military and went, well, where are they? Because we have a school board meeting. Are you out of your mind? Are you actually out of your mind? What goes on in your skull that you think that that's okay?
Well, it's like I said, it was 100% a power grab.
Imagine
they saw a way for them to try to force her out because she didn't agree with them 100%. So they thought they found a way to force her out to get someone who'd be a little more agreeable with their policies.
Just imagine the mindset that you have to be in to believe that your school board meeting is more important than national security. That's what was going on there. I mean, how just far out there are you? And the fact that you're in charge of a school, and you know what? I don't doubt that there are other people who feel that way about being on a school board or, homeowners association or whatever it might be. It's these goofy, look, you're there to make sure that the lights stay on. Past that, what are you really doing? Take a picture with the kid that played a sport. Make sure that the lights stay on. Make sure that people have the support that they need and move along. Really, that's what it is. Oh man. We're going to act like this is it's Congress. We're going to act like it's so important that national security needs to be put at risk for a school board meeting? Come on. I mean, really, come on. You want to know why people have problems with the schools? It's because they're focused on stuff like this. Meanwhile, kids can't read. They can't write in cursive. That's the craziest thing to me. They stopped teaching cursive. Do your kids know cursive?
Yes and no.
Okay.
They've learned it, but they never use it.
Interesting.
So it's one of those things where if you don't use it, you're going to end up losing it,
Right. When I was in school, we got in trouble if we didn't use cursive. To the point they'd be like, come on, what are you doing? Rewrite this. And you're like, oh, what are you doing? This is a great paper. But, it's all a part of becoming an adult. Another part of becoming an adult is understanding that the world doesn't revolve around you, which I hope people certain people in the Parma School Board understand that now. I hope they do. You have to be a special level of something else to have people. First of all, to have people at the state house agree on something. So much so that even Mike DeWine agrees with it and signs it into law. You got to be a special kind of something. I mean, just that whole situation was insane, and I'm glad there's justice. I'm glad that there's justice here because it's just, my goodness, absolutely crazy. It made no sense whatsoever. I couldn't. Ooh.
And what a no-brainer for DeWine to sign.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's
really there shouldn't have been any thought. Now, was I confident that he would?
No.
But
I wasn't either. Yeah,
I should have been confident.
Yeah,
but I wasn't.
Yeah,
because it's a rhino.
I'm just glad justice was served.
Yes.
I'm glad that she's not going to lose her job and there's no goofiness that can happen and that she's protected. That's the good thing, because you know what? She's making sure we're protected. So the least we could do is make sure she has a job when she comes back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. TJ, I see you're on hold. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to talk to TJ. He wants to talk about the infrastructure of Cleveland. We'll talk about that and more and put a bow on the show. It's the final segment coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're streaming on X, Rumble, YouTube. Just search the Jake Underwood Show on this Monday. Final segment. 2. Did you like the 2? Yeah.
Welcome back to
2.
So I was like, oh, wait, what's the name of the show? Okay,
Yeah,
I
there
got
it is.
it.
Yep, we got it.
It's one of those stall tactics.
Don with a follow-up text said, White Flight, we were the last family to move off our street. We only did so because my grandmother was assaulted twice. I had my arm broken as I was robbed and our dog killed. We had to get out for the sake of our own safety. I just want to put reasons for White Flight into perspective. Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't justified. The White Flight, yeah, no, I'm saying that people left. They got to do something to get people to go back down there. Mm-hmm. They have the opportunity to do it. They're investing in it. We talk about it all the time. Well, nobody's putting money into it. Well, they are now. So are they going to do the right thing with it? Someone texted in from the 216. It says, we need to treat Cleveland like an overgrown forest. Clear it. Save the good material and find a purpose for it. Recycle the rest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially when you got vacant lots sitting there.
Well, I mean, at least they're vacant lots and not just empty houses, boarded up houses.
Right.
So it's like the process has begun already. Like it's the ball's rolling.
Yes.
Let's just keep the momentum.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. I was saying my idea on how to do it because we talk about these things and how if an opportunity arose, we got to take advantage of it. Well, the opportunity's there. We're seeing it. Let's see. Let's go to TJ. TJ, you're in the air.
Yeah, hi, Jake. I don't think a lot of people are aware. In the 40s and 50s, Cleveland had close to like 900,000 people, a lot of industry. So Cleveland built a massive infrastructure to support all of that. Well, that infrastructure's still there. The bones are still there. Anybody wanting to develop in Cleveland, the first thing they have to think of, well, you know what, I don't have to spend a tremendous amount of money to build new infrastructure because it already exists.
Yep.
The sewer lines, the water lines, the power lines. Hey, and can I tell you a quick story about Grok?
Yeah.
All right, I talk to Grok. I ask him questions, but I carry conversations on with him.
Yeah.
He told me the other day, he actually said it's refreshing to have a conversation. He says, mostly people call me, a lot of people, and they want to know how tall Taylor Swift is. He says, you have access to this big artificial intelligence, and that's your question. How tall is Taylor Swift? And I says, you get questions like that all the time? He goes, yeah. And he actually said it's depressing.
So how tall is she?
5'10".
TJ, thank you for the call. The point he brings up about the infrastructure, he's right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the bones are there. Like the framework is there. Like even when you look at the photos that were in the article, you see it's the roads are still there, the streets are still there. You might have to update some things.
Repave, maybe?
Right. Like, it wouldn't be, it's not like we're building completely new. We got to start putting back into this. Because here's the thing. He brought it up in the 50s that was built. So that's been a little bit of time. There's only a certain amount of time that stuff's going to be okay and reusable before you have to completely start over. Like, what are we doing? It's so frustrating. It really is because we see it. We see and we're going, okay, these are the things that have to happen for it to really start to build itself back up. And we can start to see investments in this area again because I talk about it all the time. What comes first, the businesses or the people? It's what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And that's the big question. Let's see. Let's go to Alex. He has some ideas for the vacant lots. Alex, you're in the air.
Yes. My suggestion is why not start out with one building, a trade school. It can be staffed by volunteers, people in the industries, and there'll be projects all around them, building houses. They can go to class, volunteers in the trades can come in, teach for a day, meet the young people, and they will be part of building the community, and it'll be perfect for training our young people. Police assistants that can, neighborhood watches. I mean, it's endless. Young people need a purpose in life. This would give them a real start in life. And we can build houses with their help, and they would be assisting And that's my idea.
Yeah. No, Alex, that's, yeah.
And it could grow from there, too.
Yeah, Alex, thank you for the call.
To neighboring communities.
That's what I mean. Like, and it starts with just one. And when they see that success, other neighborhoods are going to want that. They're going to go, well, so-and-so's getting the opportunity over there. Well, yeah, bring it over here. Let's build it up. Whether it is, even if it's building benches for a park or picnic tables, like the most basic things, but you could start to see it come up. And when the people have put time into it, they're going to care. That's the main thing. Like that, it doesn't matter if you've never had something like that and they're giving you the opportunity to have it, you're going to care. That's just the way that it works, and that builds up. That, as Alex said, you're giving the younger people, whether it's high school, trade school, whatever it might be. That's why I said get the shop classes involved too.
Well, and that's the thing too is it's also you'd also be creating jobs that AI can't take.
Yeah,
you'd also be creating jobs that would pay decent, livable wages,
yep.
And they're not burdened by 30 years of student debt on that either.
Yeah. And that's the main thing. You give them the opportunity. You got the sweat equity to make the down payment on the home. Just, don't. It's a good opportunity. It's a really good opportunity. And I hope like I said, the investments are coming in. I hope they don't waste it. I really do. I hope they don't waste it. That's the main thing. That's what I'm concerned with. You got a good chance here. Let's see. We got a few minutes left here. Let's go to Nancy. Nancy, you're in the air.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Okay. There used to be factories and businesses. There used to be Warner and Swayze, big factories, little factories, all mixed in with the housing there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to do is bring in manufacturing first, because until we bring in the businesses so that these people have jobs so they can afford to pay for the new houses they're going to build in that area, all this green stuff is just a bunch of BS, waste of money, and it's those progressives down at City Hall that think that this is the walkway of France. So until we start bringing in the businesses, get rid of those stupid regulations that confine them and take years to get things done, that area is never going to get developed, and people can't afford to live there unless they have jobs to go to.
Yep, Nancy, beautifully said, and thank you for the call. I agree wholeheartedly. I do, and we've had that discussion before on the show. What does come first? Is it the business or is it the people? One brings the other.
Strong argument for the
she
business
does,
first.
Because what was it? Oh man, I think my grandfather's dad, my great-grandfather worked at, was it Dandy's?
Dandy potato chips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the factory down there.
Yeah.
And that they all worked there.
Yeah. Oh, my uncles all worked there.
Right. Like there's no problem with it. Do that again. Like it's the craziest thing, and it's only government that will do this. Hey, we had this thing that worked for decades. Yeah, let's change it. No, we need to change it. Really? Because this seems to be working. No, we'll change it.
Yeah, but this isn't broke.
No, government will fix.
We'll fix it.
Yeah, government's got some duct tape. They're going to try to hold it together. I'll keep an eye on it. Anything else I hear about the investments and different things that are happening, I'll let you know. This could be a really good thing for the city of Cleveland, and we could really see some opportunities to areas that haven't had it in a while. So it'd be nice to see, and I mean the city of Cleveland and us too, because it benefits us as well. This has been the Jake Underwood Show. Thank you for letting us into your homes, your cars, at work with you. If you're at work, you're halfway through the day. You're almost there. Great job. You're doing awesome. Keep doing it. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to speak with Jim Renacci. Tomorrow we'll pick his brain on some things and tell someone about Jesus today. Give them some good news. A lot of negativity out there. So tell them about Jesus. Just, plant that little seed. Watch it grow. God wants them. So we want them to meet God. We'll be back tomorrow. Have an incredible day. We'll see you then.